Hey, it's Aaron the Ho from mobilereviewsa.ca, and today I'm going to tell you how it feels to go topless with your iPhone 6 in the Dog Bone Wetsuit. Now I know you got dogs, you got bones, you're going topless, and you've got an iPhone 6, and those things don't seem very memorable at all, but hey, that's what's going to make this case review a little more memorable. The Dog Bone Wetsuit waterproof iPhone case is very unique because there isn't a built-in screen protector, but it's still waterproof and shockproof. Now, I'm personally not a big fan of screen protectors, so to me, being able to touch my iPhone's glass wonderful touchscreen is an awesome feature. I'm a big fan of the shape of the case, though it does bulk up the iPhone quite a bit, but this entire case feels incredibly solid. I do have a few issues with the accessibility of your iPhone inside the case, which may be a deal breaker for some people. Specifically, I've got issues with the edges of the case, sound quality, as well as flash photography. Based on our time with this case, we gave it a score of 3.6 A's out of 5. The LifeProof Free, another waterproof case for the iPhone 6, scores slightly higher than the Dog Bone Wetsuit, though there are some instances where I actually would go with the Wetsuit over the LifeProof Free. If you'd rather read the rest of the review, check out our website, as we've got an easy-to-read review table as well as a case comparison tool for waterproof iPhone 6 cases.
Real usage, real reviews. mobilereviewsa.ca.
At mobilereviewsa.ca, our reviews are based on actual usage, which means that we just don't stare at the pretty pictures on the website and then say this might be a good case. We actually use them, and so this case was waterproof, so we tested it out in some water and we did put it in a dishwasher. We also did drop it from 6.6 feet and our iPhone is fine. I do have to give props to them. They designed a very unique case. This isn't your standard two-piece case that you have to put your iPhone in and snap together. There's actually three pieces, which, you know, is 3 pieces, an extra thing you have to deal with. But they're very uniquely designed cases. And the same idea has kind of followed from the iPhone 5S version to the iPhone 6 version. One of the things that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever was on the iPhone 5S version was that the entire piece was actually kind of removable. You could lose this piece very, very easily, and they didn't actually give you an extra one. Now on the iPhone 6 version, they actually made the plugs kind of semi-attached to the case, so they're much harder to lose, and they actually provided you with a spare pair, which is pretty awesome. I'm a big fan when the company actually, you know, changes their stuff for the better. In terms of design, the Wetsuit is a pretty big case, but still slimmer than some of the other bigger cases like the Ballistic Hardcore, and it isn't easy to install or uninstall as there are 3 pieces to deal with. Dog Bone does include a plastic chip that helps in the installation of the case, or you could just use a coin. One of the unique features of the case is the actual sleeve that the iPhone sits in. It's a thin, rubbery feeling thing that you have to wrap your iPhone in, or as I said in the torture test video, you have to suit up your iPhone. The case does feel incredibly well built. It feels like a tough case that is worth $80, and everything just seems to fit together very well. Most of the case is covered with this soft rubber feeling texture that makes the case quite easy to grip and reduces the chance the case might slip off a table. In terms of protection, the Wetsuit will protect your iPhone from 6.6 feet drops and will keep your iPhone safe from depths up to 6.6 feet as well. With all that being said, that's kind of the average level of protection for waterproof iPhone cases. I will state that the Wetsuit will offer a tiny bit more drop protection as the case has multiple layers, so in the instance where the case comes apart, where the front and back come apart, the sleeve is still going to offer your iPhone just a bit of protection. In terms of screen protection, there isn't anything built in, which again is one of the selling features of this case. Dog Bone does include a thin screen protector that you can apply, and it's kind of better than nothing. Though I feel very comfortable doing that to it. I personally wouldn't try to install a glass screen protector on the iPhone into the Dog Bone Wetsuit, as the thickness of the screen protector will make the case a little harder to install and actually might compromise the waterproof seal. The edges on the case are quite high, so it will definitely keep your iPhone screen off a flat surface if you're putting it face down. In terms of functionality, this is where the Wetsuit stumbles a bit. Sound is not great coming out of the iPhone in this case. Sound from the earpiece speaker kind of crackles, same with the sound coming out from the speakers at the bottom. I did do a bunch of voice calls with it, and this microphone seemed to pick up my voice quite well. The microphones aren't actually covered, which is one of the very few iPhone cases that I've noticed. They've got waterproof membranes covering most of the speaker or microphones, which is nice. The Touch ID sensor generally works in the case, but the high lip at the bottom of the case does take a bit of getting used to. Your thumb just kind of jams right into it. Access to the hardware ports is okay. Larger lightning cables will work with the case, but the headphone cutout is fitted tightly to Apple's headphones. The port covers are removable and they're semi-attached to the case, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And if you did lose the port covers, you've got a spare one. Dog Bone does include a headphone jack extension so that you can use larger than standard Apple headphone jacks, but it doesn't keep the case waterproof. Accessing your buttons on your iPhone is quite easy, though I do have to point out that Dog Bone does something different with their mood switch, which makes it a little less clumsy to access when compared to other cases. Flash photography suffers a little bit. Actually, no, I'm going to say a little bit more than just a little bit, as the cutout for the flash is too small, so it clips part of the True Tone flash. This to me is a bit annoying, as one side of your photograph is going to be a little warm and the other side is going to be a little cool, which is pretty evident in this comparison. The top one is from a regular iPhone 6, and then the bottom one is with the iPhone 6 with the wetsuit installed. You can look at the corners and they're different colors. In terms of screen functionality, the edges on the case are quite high and very noticeable. Getting to your control panel is a little more difficult through the Dog Bone Wetsuit. You might have to try a couple of times. I found most success doing the rolly finger move. Now, in terms of viewing your iPhone screen through the Dog Bone Wetsuit, well, because there's nothing covering it, there's no problems. Screen viewability is great. I'm a big fan of that. Again, we gave the Dog Bone Wetsuit a score of 3.6 A's out of 5. Now, before I tell you kind of why I would choose this over the Life Proof Free, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. We produce 2 to 3 videos a week, and so there's something new every single week. Almost every single week, unless I go on holidays, like I just did. And so, between the Life Proof Free and this case, I would go with the Dog Bone Wetsuit if you needed to attach a wrist strap to it, as you've got cutouts for it. It is a tougher case. I feel way more comfortable dropping this case than I would a Life Proof Free. Our Life Proof Free, they kind of crack after a 6-foot drop. And the best part about the Dog Bone Wetsuit is that, well, it doesn't make your screen look awful. The Life Proof Free has a horrible screen protector. It diffuses it. There's some rainbowing effects, which has, you know, been known for like 3-4 years and they haven't done anything about it. At least Dog Bone is evidently making their cases better, as by and well the port covers are so much better, and it's a better looking case compared between the two versions, the 5S and the 6 version. This is a very nice looking case. I'm very, very liking the shape more so than the 5S version. I'm Aaron the Ho. You got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'd probably be more than happy to answer them. Find us on Google+, Twitter, as well as Facebook. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I do have a few issues with the accessibility. Oh, god damn it, the fan's on. So as I was saying, I do have to give props to Dog.